It's hard to believe.
The latest report shows in the second quarter of this year, the economy made its worst showing since the depths of the recession in 1982. The government today reported the gross national product grew only 0.6% from April through June. For the first 6 months of the year, the economy has grown at an annual rate of 2.2%. That's well below the administration's original prediction of 4% growth. In the meantime, there is speculation the Federal Reserve Board will try to revive the economy by cutting interest rates. The Fed has cut interest rates 3 times so far this year. In other money matters, imagine not having to file an income tax return. Well, that's what may happen under a section of the new tax bill. The bill calls for the Internal Revenue Service to study the feasibility of a return-free tax system. A report on the plan is due in 6 months. If workable, those who file the simplest returns could let the IRS determine taxes based on documents supplied by employers and banks. For more than 2 years, 35 nations have been holding disarmament talks in Stockholm, and tonight there is news of a breakthrough. The Soviet Union has told the Stockholm Security Conference it's prepared to accept some on-site inspections of military facilities. The American ambassador to the conference calls the announcement a major step forward and says it's possible an agreement could be reached by next month. The Stockholm Conference is devoted to troop reductions and does not deal with nuclear or strategic weaponry. Still to come on News 15 Night Beat, Day 8 of the Robert Hicks murder trial. Testimony wrapped up today. And can you remember what happened on this day in history in the year 1960? We'll take you back right after this. The defense rested its case in the murder trial of Robert Lamar Hicks today. Hicks allegedly killed Lutheran hospital nurse Julie Bissell back in January. As News 15's Noreen Lauer reports, the fate of Hicks now rests in the hands of a jury.
Noreen Lauer, News 15.
Of course, News 15 will have a complete report on Day 9 of the Hicks trial tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Here's one for the Truth is Stranger Than Fiction file. Hospital officials in Philadelphia have suspended 2 hospital lab workers for selling human body parts, including heads, to a Philadelphia physician. The United Parcel Service uncovered the black market operation. UPS workers in Louisville, Kentucky, found 5 human heads inside a package allegedly being shipped by the doctor to a research center in Colorado. A priest with liberal views on sexual matters can no longer teach Roman Catholic theology. Charles Curran has taught moral theology at the Catholic University in Washington for nearly 20 years. The Vatican has now sent a letter to Curran informing him he is not fit to teach Roman Catholic theology and that he has been stripped of his status as a Roman Catholic theologian. Curran had disagreed publicly with the Church's position on abortion and contraception. In April, Curran discussed his views in an interview with CBS News.
Anyone with any historical sense knows.
Among other things, Curran has endorsed the use of contraceptives and said that sometimes abortion, homosexuality, and premarital sex are justified, even though they are condemned by the Catholic Church. This day in history takes us back to the year 1960, an important milestone in the race to space. On August 19, 1960, the Soviets launched 2 dogs, Selka and Strelka, into space. It was the first time dogs were sent into orbit and then came back alive. The dogs orbited the Earth for 1 day. The mission, of course, was called Sputnik. It put the Russians ahead of the U.S. space program. No word yet on how the Harding High School and Jay County High School bands fared tonight at the Indiana State Fair Band Contest. The 2 bands were among the 16 finalists in competition tonight. Fair officials told News 15 just moments ago that the competition is over. They are now tallying the votes, and of course we'll keep you posted on that. When we come back, Maureen Ty says we're in for another beautiful day. This is the kind of weather when it's snowy and about 15 degrees in mid-December. You look back at this time of year. Clear nights, cool nights, and beautiful days.
It's just about perfect, if we can be as bold as to say that.
And succinct.
Yes. We have some nice weather now. It's going to stay nice for the next couple of days as we look outdoors right now. All in all, pretty nice weather for the next few days.
No complaints from this end. Thank you, Maureen. Up next, Sports 15 has a special look at some members of the Ball State football team who hail from Fort Wayne. Some corporations and many sports organizations are now requiring their employees be tested for drugs. But are these tests reliable? Dr. Dina Dell examines that question in tonight's medical report.
I'm Dr. Dina Dell.
On to the world of sports. Drug testing, not an issue today, but lots of talk about football. It's hard to believe with the weather we're having, football's around the corner, but it really is.
That's right. We're going to have the first high school football season of the action coming up in just a couple of days.
Let's face it, folks, most of us hate to go to the dentist. Maybe it would make it a little bit easier if the dentist came to us. Anyway, that's what a California dentist thinks, so he's taken his practice on the road. Ron Tank has this report on a modern-day traveling medicine man.
Okay, let's take a look here.
This is Ron Tank reporting.
One final and serious note, fire authorities in Upland have been called to a fire at the Fine Arts Building at Taylor University. We'll have more on that story tomorrow. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday night. I'm Ken Owen. We hope you have a great night.
There are more musical numbers and comedy quickies from Britain's good humor man, Benny Hill, tonight on The Benny Hill Show.